Hello and welcome, everybody. It's great to have you with us. And if for those who don't know, we do this thing every year for the last several years, inspired by Warren Buffett, where we write a letter to our community and we speak very candidly about things that we think we did pretty well, things that we think we didn't do well and we need to improve on, new things happening in our business, new people associated with our business, products that went really well, and most excitingly, products that are coming up. So before we get into any of that, Andi and I would like to thank you because most importantly of all, we've had a great year, and that's all down to our community and the support from you guys. So truly, every single day, we feel grateful to be able to create magic that you use and enjoy.
Yeah, really, we have the best jobs in the world. We say that pretty much every day when we get to work on Vanishing Inc, when we get to travel to the warehouses, to work with the team. And really, that's thanks to everybody watching this and to all of our customers. So thank you very much. Josh, I wrote an intro, at least I got Chat GPT. Do you know what this is? The cool
Oh
new
yeah,
open
I do
AI.
know what it is.
Oh, I'm sorry, Granddad. I didn't know. Like, you're not normally that good with tech. I got it to write an intro. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. Welcome to the Vanishing Inc annual letter event hosted by Andy Gladwin and Joshua J. We're thrilled to have you join us on this special occasion where we'll be sharing updates on what's happening at Vanishing Inc and questioning whether or not Joshua J is wearing a wig. What? Who knows why? Okay, it's
Yeah.
real. No Ed Marlowe going on
In
here.
terms of how gags could go down at the top of an event, I'd say that score's pretty low, Andy. But then again, not every gag is going to hit.
Well, we'll find out. We'll at least aim for a higher hit rate than we're having right now. How about that? There we go. Made you laugh in 2 minutes, so it's fine. So here's how this is going to work. We have some things we want to tell you about that's been going on over the course of the last year, including probably our biggest ever announcements. And George, who is running the show behind the scenes, has just told us that we are giving away a Vanishing Care package, including some unreleased decks. And we're going to do that for our favorite question that comes in throughout. So keep on posting your questions. George will pop them up on the screen every now and again. And every time I say the name George, he hates it because he hates to be in the limelight. So we'll try and mention George a few more times during the live stream. So should we move straight on? Should we get into
I
our
think so.
first?
You're on a roll.
Well, thank you very much. Okay, I'm glad to be on a roll. So this is massive for us. The thing we want to talk to you about, first of all, because it was February 2022. Josh and I were in LA. We're filming the Masters of Illusion show. We were filming on the same day, and we were exhausted. But Josh loves Disney, so he said, and I say said, he insisted that we go to Disneyland to have a few hours off and hang out at Disneyland. And when we were there, we went into the Disneyland Magic Store, Main Street Magic. Take it away, Josh.
So we walked into this magic shop and we were immediately struck because we knew about it, of course, and some very famous magicians and famous people like Steve Martin have been associated and got their start at this shop. But when we walked in, the person behind the counter was sort of like, "Hey, it's Josh and Andy. You know what? You guys should talk to the owner. There might be something to do here." So we did, and a long story short is we acquired Houdini's Magic, the chain of shops and the warehouse of materials that they staff it with, and their amazing staff. And so part of the Vanishing Inc. business model is now retail, with both a shop inside Disney as well as in Pier 39 in San Francisco.
So the stores are obviously very different to your usual magic shop because they are attracting tourists. They are two of the busiest tourism areas on the West Coast, perhaps even in the US. So this is a really great opportunity for us because this is not like we're buying a magic store that's online or a competitor that's online. These are magic stores that are attracting non-magicians, future magicians, as we like to call them. So it's a real great opportunity to bring new people into magic. And we're really taking that to the next level, I think it's fair to say. So we are bringing out a whole new brand of magic. We are working with some partnerships with some major magic producers. And our aim is to ensure that people get to learn magic the right way. Because I've bought magic sets for my son. I've bought beginner's tricks for my son. And they're not that great. Pretty much every time he's bought one, he's picked them up and not really known what to do with it. So we are aiming to reinvent this whole magic product line so that when somebody comes into one of our stores to learn magic, they're going to learn it the right way.
Yeah, thanks for all the love in the chat. David Strong asked the question, do we plan to open more retail? I think the answer to that is we really have our hands full trying to make these two shops the best in class. And we are doing we have planned some major things to bring these shops into the stratosphere and really make them great. And as Andy mentioned, part of that is some products that you wouldn't necessarily associate with beginner magic stuff, but will be great for new magicians. And then the only thing I wanted to add is to geek out and go businessy for a second is a really cool pivot for us. Because, we're confronted sometimes and we have acquired some of our competitors, but in a sense, we're always buying some of the customers we already have because some people shop with us and with other places as well. What makes this so exciting is this is new. This is a new venture for us that doesn't overlap with our current business. So it really is a totally different footprint. There's 40,000 people that walk by our shop in Disneyland every single day. And those are 40,000 people who aren't magicians for the most part, who aren't hearing our marketing and getting our products. So this is a new way to get people into magic and then bring them into the business. And we hope and we predict this is going to be a beautiful asset for us as a business.
But what's really interesting is magicians are also coming to the store and they're feeding back to us, which is amazing. But we realize that this means we need a kind of hybrid solution. So in particular, the Pier 39 store in San Francisco is going to cater for magicians a little bit too. So if you're a magician in the area, you want to come and check out the Vanishing Inc line, you're going to be able to do that. And in order to navigate that kind of stressful and difficult thing of a beginner's store and a Vanishing Inc store, we needed to bring in a new manager. And we need to have somebody with vision, somebody who knew the industry, and somebody we knew could really help take on what we had in mind. And let's introduce him right now. Here he is. Let's bring him on. It is our friend, Thomas Hayden, who has relocated to be here in San Francisco with us. Hey, Thomas.
How's it going, gentlemen?
So great.
Thomas, good to have you here.
Happy to be here.
And
so
you've been... You go first, Josh. Go on.
I was going to say, so why don't you tell us a little bit about, first of all, Pier 39 and what that is to people who aren't from San Francisco, and then a little bit about the shop itself and what we can expect when we visit you there.
Yeah, so I am a new transplant to San Francisco. I go way back with Josh back to the New York City days, born and raised in New York City. But in the short amount of time that I have spent here in San Francisco, I've already been immersed so heavily in the culture, especially Pier 39. It is so historic. I've gotten to talk to people who have been involved with the pier for 30 plus years. And it's a special place for a lot of people, specifically at Houdini's Magic Shop, now our new upcoming flagship magic shop. I have met people on the daily basis who they reminisce about coming there 30 years ago with their parents, buying their first magic kits or their first magic tricks. And now they are now buying their children, their first tricks from us. And it's just a wonderful cycle to be a part of. Like I said, Pier 39 is so historic. If you've seen any major Hollywood film in the last 20 years, they filmed tons of movies in the space. So many prolific entertainers have gotten their start there. And we're just really excited to be bringing the very first flagship Vanishing Inc shop to Pier 39.
We are too.
So great. Yeah, we're really happy to have you on board. You've been in San Francisco for a month now, I think?
Just over a month and a half, yep.
And already you have turned the stores into so many cool ways, and we've done so much cool stuff just in this last 4 or 5 weeks. So thank you for joining us. Thanks for being on board. And definitely stop by the store and see Thomas and see the rest of the team, because we have a full Vanishing Inc line there already, and we're going to be adding more in the next couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. We're so excited for all of you to come visit us and take a piece of Vanishing Home back home with you.
Amazing. Thanks, Thomas. We'll see you soon.
Thanks,
Yeah, my
Thomas.
pleasure, gentlemen. Take care.
There are
All
so many
right.
questions in the chat about the stores, but we can't spend too long talking about it because we've got so much other stuff that we
Yeah, let's
want to
jump
talk
into the
about.
next thing. This is equally exciting, although maybe not from your perspective, but certainly for what the business needed. So to give you a little feedback on this, Andy and I purchased a warehouse in Sacramento, outside Sacramento, for the company several years ago. 4 years ago, Andy?
I think probably 5 or 6 now.
5 or 6. Well, we'll split the difference and call it 5. But anyway, when we bought it, we looked around and we thought, how are we ever going to fill this? I mean, I can just remember thinking, even if we tripled in size, we'll just never use all of this. And fast forward into last year, we were out of space. We were totally out of space, and it was really starting to affect our operations and logistics. So we were able to acquire the warehouse directly on the other side of one of the walls and doubled our size. But it's even better than that because we also acquired office space for it, a little place where we can do filming, and we call it Mega Warehouse.
Yeah, a big part of running a Magic Warehouse is not just having the storage space to keep all of the products. And there needs to be a lot of storage space because we don't like our products to go out of print. Sometimes they do, but we really try and keep as much of a back catalog as possible. But it's not just the storage space. It's also the other space as well. It's the picking and the packing and the shipping and the producing of the products. So that's probably what we didn't really think about when we first bought the original warehouse. So now the new warehouse has so much more space for that. So we've managed to add 3 times more shipping stations. So this means that we can get orders out way quicker. And when we reflected on all of the problems that we used to have with Black Friday, with the delays, it was pretty much that we just couldn't get enough people to be getting orders out because we didn't have the space. So this Black Friday really was a success for us because we were able to get orders out at pretty much normal speed, even though we were dealing with, on some days, 10, 12 times more orders than we normally deal with. So Mega Warehouse is already working out well for us. And I'm pretty sure in the next couple of years, we'll probably be having the same conversation going. We didn't think we'd ever fill that warehouse, but we have. So let's see. But we are very happy with where we are and the renovations that we've done in these 2 new warehouses. Should we take a couple of questions? Do we have questions that are coming in really quickly, or do we need to move on? Let's see. In case there are any burning warehouse-based questions. How will the acquisition of the retail shops affect current distribution from the VI website? You're expecting increased delivery time, supply chain growth, less out of stocks. Actually, that's the coolest thing about this company purchase is that it came with an established and excellent team already, and we've been bringing in new team members such as Thomas, who you've just met. So actually, there will be no delays whatsoever because the teams kind of work independently. Even though we've integrated the teams, they work on their own projects, and there will never be any delays at all as we go. And in fact, because the San Francisco team are so close to our warehouse, like an hour and a half, 2 hours away, if things really go crazy, we can actually benefit from having the help of the team in San Francisco. So if anything, it's going to improve things.
Will your shops have live magic demos? Absolutely. They always have, and they always will. What's really exciting, though, is keep a watch in both shops in the next few months because we're going to be debuting some new tricks that I think are going to be fantastic. And some of that means fantastic for an entry-level magician, somebody just getting started, but we're also debuting some tricks that are just flat out great for any magician. Yeah.
So we've talked about the expansion of our physical locations, but also we've needed to expand our team quite a lot this year, and we've made some really key acquisitions. So Thomas, you've already met, but also the rest of the Magic Store teams as well. Johnny Wonder is working in Disneyland, along with a great team there as well, and we have a great San Francisco team. So the Vanishing Inc family has almost doubled in this last year, which is absolutely crazy to say. The new warehouse has meant that we can bring on new warehouse team members as well. So I think that team has now also doubled, along with a new warehouse manager, Hong, who is really running a tight ship in the warehouse.
Yeah.
You are.
We also brought in somebody. If you've been enjoying the trailers and some of the video features, we have a new video editor named Ivan, and he's doing a fantastic job. And we also have a new CFO. We just realized it was time. For those of you who've been shopping with us for a while and part of the community, you know that Andy and I are just best friends, and what we'd really like to do is be talking about card tricks all the time. As the business has grown, it has not always been an easy transition because we're not CEO material or natural CEO type material. So it was time to bring in somebody who had experience in the business field, running companies and making sure that they were run in the correct way. And we actually have this person here on hand to meet all of you. Should we bring him in?
Here he
This is Co-Walk, everybody.
Greetings, friends. How is everyone?
Oh, Jeff, they can't.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, but it's fine. It's his first Zoom. Jeff is a fellow Ohioan, and Jeff, you will know from his YouTube channel where he is running a great a great feature called Erudite Magic, where he reviews and gives tips from magic books. So in that sense, he was a complete natural. And he has already made a huge dent into orienting us a little more toward running in a sound way.
Oh, absolutely. I'm thrilled to be here and be a part of this, to keep Vanishing Inc. running for a long time, providing all this great magic. When you were talking, though, Josh, you said you were really excited for the Houdini stores. You were really excited for Mega Warehouse, but there's also the CFO. I don't want to ask you to rank it, but I just want to make sure it's still exciting.
Let's do a virtual hug. Come here. Come in close.
There we go.
I'm not getting involved. I'm too British for this. What's funny, you were probably the most feared hire within the Vanishing Inc. team. When we told the team we were bringing on a CFO, everybody was like, no, not somebody who's going to tell us to stop spending. But actually, it seems to me like you've done the opposite. You've kind of been investing in the future of Vanishing Inc., which I really love. So, like, where do you think we're going to go in the next year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the sky is the limit. I'm very excited with the things that you've already talked about, the acquisitions we've made with the stores and the pipeline of, brand new people that we can bring into the magic fold, because magic needs young, new blood. And I think that this is going to go a long way to helping us continue to bring people into that family. And I'm also, with the Mega Warehouse and everything else that we have going on, we'll be able to service the customers that we have even better. And as we look to kind of articulate some of the business decisions, I know some people worry when you bring in an accountant, you brought in a bean counter and they're going to be cold and ruthless and talk about raising prices. And certainly, while this letter is an indication, you want to run a business successfully, I'm also really excited that magic has been my passion and pursuit for so long that I can now come in and help to make the business even stronger, I hope, and continue to pump out all these great books and tricks over the years and give input more than just the dollars and cents aspect of running the business.
Well, that's what I've enjoyed. Here's the thing that I really admire about Jeff. When this came about and this was all coming together, Jeff comes from the business world and he had a similar role for a company that had nothing to do with magic. And we were sort of like, why do you want to do this? And Jeff, you said, I think, the magic words, which were that you wanted to spend your life in pursuit of something that you were passionate about. And that is where great team members come from. And I think great work starts is always when people are passionate to combine their expertise with the things they're passionate about. Jeff, I have a question for you, if I'm allowed to just ask you one.
Of course.
You came with us, you came to the warehouse to meet all of that team, and you've been with us now and taken meetings and stuck your hand into every aspect of our business. Talk to our friends out there a little bit about Vanishing Inc. culture. I don't know what you're going to say, but I'm interested into how you think the team is.
Sure. I think that personally, I think that I fit right in. So maybe that qualifies me to say it. I think that it was maybe less austere than I thought on the surface from just attending Magi Fest and all that, but I do think we have a lot of fun. And I think that's a key ingredient of a successful team. That's one of the things that I've kind of insisted on in every place I've been, the teams that I've been on. I like to have fun, and I think you guys do too. I think there's a good camaraderie, and there's from the cultural aspect that's totally different from a lot of businesses, but sets you guys and Vanishing Inc. and our customers up for success is that you guys are passionate about the product too. As the owners, me as the CFO, we have a company full of magicians who genuinely care about the products that we're putting out. We're really not in this, like you said, just for the money. It's about providing value to customers and giving them excellent products that we know that they can love and use and that their audiences are going to love to see. So I think there's a lot of passion in the group. And I also think there's a lot of humility. Everybody's willing to hear people out to say what's the best idea for the customer, and no, there aren't very many sacred cows there.
This is a diehard Vanishing Inc. fan right here who knows about the annual sprint around the warehouse. Dell, the question is, how well will Jeff do in the annual sprint around the warehouse? I can speak to that. I know how well Jeff will do as the fastest man in Vanishing Inc., fastest person in Vanishing Inc. I can tell you that we decided not to do the race this year because I was convinced that Jeff would beat me. So
we did, however, race up the stairs while we were out in California, and I almost tripped and fell. So I did lose that. Race, but that was up the stairs, not around the building.
Jeff, another sort of challenging question. How have you managed Andy's anger issues? Is that affected you at all, just in the day-to-day? Did that surprise you that about his temper?
Yes, everyone in my family was very surprised to see me shaking after a meeting. No, I have not noticed that at all, but it's been really great. I've been here for 3 months now. So for those who didn't know that I started back in October, this has been a fantastic opportunity, and I couldn't be more happy to have made this decision, and that you guys made this decision to bring me on to help grow this business and continue to make it an ongoing success for decades to come.
There has been so much love for you on the chat. I've been watching it as you've been reading, as you've been speaking. It's great. People know of your work, and people know that you love magic books, which is what's been so much fun working alongside you all day, every day, because we get to talk about magic books whilst also talking about numbers and other things like that. So thanks for joining us. I truly believe that the future of magic, future of Vanishing Inc. magic is really going to be down to you over the next couple of years, because you are shaping this company in ways that the two of us could have never done. So thank you for being with us.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Thank you. What are you talking about? You're looking like that. You know our weaknesses. Our weaknesses are numbers.
Our weakness is your anger issue. That's the main weakness.
What's funny is Jeff learned about my nickname amongst the team before he even started. So yeah,
Scary Boss. That's what we call him. We have Nice Boss, Scary Boss.
Yeah, we can get into it at some point. There's more Vanishing gear coming. I've been trying to rock the hat forever. I got 2 of them. Actually, George just said he wanted to reprint the hats.
In black, maybe most popular color.
In black. Okay, fine. Well, there we go. I also want to do a new run of deck tips as well.
Let us know in the chat what kind of merch you would like to see. But let's talk a little bit about events, because this is a big part of the way we interact with you guys. And we'll start with our 2 conventions. Of course, we start every year with the session and then Magi Fest. And, COVID made the conventions really tough. We were legally bound to keep them small. And then when that was released, we had a hard time putting people in chairs. It was hard to market a big event because of the pandemic. We are so pleased to tell you that the numbers are not only back, but they've surged beyond pre-pandemic numbers. So this will be, I imagine, a total sellout of both conventions. And in particular, well, I guess both conventions may be the biggest ever that they've ever been.
Yeah, it's weird to reflect that 1 year, 1 week ago, we had to make the call to postpone the session. It was supposed to be January 2022, and we had to postpone it just before Christmas. And it was probably one of the toughest business calls we made, but that's just how recently COVID has been impacting us. And so we pushed the session back to, I think it was July this year. And while it was smaller attendance than normal, it was a really fun convention. So I'm happy to say that both conventions are now back in full force with pretty much pre-COVID numbers, which is really great. Obviously, we're taking all the precautions that we can, as we have learned to do in the last few years. But the conventions are back, and we are really, really excited to be back to full figures again, full numbers. But the one thing that we have enjoyed is actually our events that are not hundreds and 1,000 people in the case of Magi Fest, but actually are much smaller events. And this year we ran 2 retreats. One was in South Africa. There's some pictures of South Africa, and it was just so much fun. We took, I think, about 20 magicians. We hosted Danny Garcia and Guy Hollingworth, and Josh and myself were there doing lectures and shows too. And it was just the most fun I've ever had in magic, and pretty much in life as well.
Yeah. So for those who are unfamiliar or might be new, we came up with this concept that, magic conventions are typically where you tell your partner or your spouse, hey, I'm going to this thing with magicians. We're going to geek out, and you're really not welcome. You're not going to have any fun. And we sort of said, well, what can we do to take the best part of a vacation and pair it with a magic convention to the point where your partner would be just as excited to join you as you'll be to be there? So we went with the tried and trusted method of just going, where in the world do we want to go? And we picked 2 great places this year, South Africa, as Andy talked about, but also Utah. George and I went on an exploratory vacation to a very little known national park. It happens to be one of my top 3 favorite national parks, called Capitol Reef National Park. It's in Torrey, Utah, and it's as beautiful, I believe, as the Grand Canyon and Bryce Canyon, but it has none of the people and the crowds. And there's also a state park nearby called Goblin State Park that looks like it's on Mars. And we held a retreat there, and it was fantastic. We did hiking, we did horseback riding, we held clinics at night, we had a stargazing trip, and we welcomed over 100 guests in total on that one, and just had such a blast on that domestic retreat.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing more of these retreats. The Tuscany retreat was so popular that we had to do it twice. So we are in May, over my 40th birthday. I'm getting old. We're going to be doing 2 retreats in Tuscany. They sold out in, I think, 48 hours. So we have another retreat coming that we're going to announce the full details of in January. But that retreat, I think, is going to be just as popular. It's going to sell out just as quickly. But this retreat, we are doing something different. We are extending it. It's going to be 7 days long. Josh, do you want to tell us, only briefly, because we can't tease all the details until we launch it in like a week or 2's time, but still, we can talk about it a little bit.
Okay, I can't mention the whole thing. We're going to a state that starts with Allah. Can I say more than that, or?
No, I get. Yeah, go on. Tell us how we're getting there, and maybe that's
so. A couple of things are different. Just like Andy said, we're going to 7 days. We listened to the feedback, and of course, people liked it so much they wanted more. So we're going on a cruise, and it's Seattle to Seattle, and it'll go down the beautiful coastline of Alaska. And there's going to be helicopter journey. There's going to be zip lining. There's going to be whale watching, and of course, some sensational talent that you'll have to hear about. And I guess that's a great segue to say that we're doing these 2 conventions, these 2 retreats every year, and we needed help. We needed somebody who really understood events. So one of the hires that we made is Craig Mitchell from South Africa. He has a lot of experience planning conventions, youth clinics, producing magic shows, bringing Broadway down to South Africa. He is the right person for the job, and he is heading up all of our live events now.
And the events are so much better thanks to Craig's involvement. So we're really pleased to have him as part of the team. We should also talk about another event. This event you couldn't buy tickets for this year. It was the most exclusive event Vanishing Inc has ever run, but it's an event that we've been wanting to do for 5 or 6 years now, and finally the stars aligned. We're able to do it. We're able to do the Vanishing Inc team retreat. We took the whole team to Las Vegas, and we had just the best time over 4 or 5 days. We got to see some incredible shows. We went to see Penn and Teller, and they hung out with us afterwards, and they even mentioned Vanishing Inc in the show, which was really kind and cool. We went to some amazing restaurants. We did a pool party at Jason England's pool, and he gave us a tour of his museum and taught us some magic and performed for us. And then we also got to do something that I think the whole team, including myself and Josh, will remember forever. As a surprise, we don't know how we pulled it off. We got very lucky. David Copperfield invited us to his museum, and he gave us a tour of the museum, which was just incredible. He was here we are outside the museum. He was so kind. He spent so much time with us, answered all of our questions. Chris Kenner was there as well. Homer Leaguewag was there. We got to hang out, and we did magic, and we talked, and he gifted us with this amazing limited edition poster afterwards. The whole team got one, and it was just such an incredible time, and we really appreciate the hospitality of all the Vegas magicians, and we had the most fun ever in Vegas for a few days as a team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure many of you will be familiar with this, but there's only so many ways and times you can thank an amazing team for doing an amazing job. And this was a rare chance where we could actually show it and spread it around. And we did lots of other things. We did pool party. We did Matt King's show, which was fantastic. We went to the Pinball Hall of Fame, and they all had a pinball contest for an extra day off work. Just lots of fun, cool stuff. We gave them all money and partnered them up, and we had a gambling contest. You had to try to win the most money that you could, and the person who won the most money had to spend it on the team doing some other activity. So all in all, it was a great weekend.
Good question. How does one get to work for Vanishing Inc? That is something I can answer right now, because if you go to vanishingmagic.com/jobs, that's where we're always listing the jobs. And we have, I think, 4 or 5 jobs that vacancies that are open right now, including probably the coolest job we will ever offer, which is project manager role, where you will get to work on producing magic that's going to come out through Vanishing Inc. So check it out. There's also roles to join the warehouse team, roles to join the stores as well. Both stores, I think, are hiring. But keep an eye on that page always, because that's where we post them. And it looks like Jim, customer service wizard extraordinaire. Did you just sneeze? Jim has posted the jobs link there as well.
No, I didn't sneeze. I just saw Eli's comment. You have to kill an existing staff member.
That's very funny, Eli. We're happy to have you here. But you know what? We've been talking a lot about us, as we often do. But we should now talk about something else, which is magic as a much bigger role than just Vanishing Inc. and much bigger than just myself and Josh. Because this year has been really important to us to give back to the magic community. We run this charity called the Vanishing Inc Magic Fund, or colloquially we call it the Share Magic Fund. And this is a registered 501c3 where we get to do cool stuff for the magic community to help improve the art of magic. So if you go to sharemagic.org, you'll see this whole video series that we shot called Share Magic Talks, where they're completely free 15, 20-minute videos of great magicians talking about their magic and interesting subjects within magic. But Share Magic's not just about sharing on video. Go on, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, and of course, this is funded by all of you guys. You know that when you check out, you have the opportunity to donate 1, 5, 10, or we've had people donate $1,000 and up, and it just makes us so happy that we're able to help and uplift young magicians and magic projects that need our help. And one of the ways that we did that this year is that we visited the College of Magic in South Africa. Here are some photos from our trip there. We lectured and performed and just met these kids. For those of you who are unfamiliar with it, you should watch this amazing piece that was just on 60 Minutes about this charity. I genuinely think it's one of the coolest charities in existence. They teach kids leadership skills and public speaking skills through magic, and they service all kids in South Africa, but they also have a scholarship program that services kids in the most disadvantaged areas They bust them in and they teach them magic that they can go back in whatever community they're in and perform there. It's a beautiful, beautiful charity, and we've supported it for many years. And I'm so glad it got its moment on 60 Minutes to really be in the spotlight. We made a
And I have to
donation.
be really honest. Oh, sorry. You can talk about that in one second. I just want to say an important thing that I misunderstood about the College of Magic. So we've been working with them for years. We built a theater there and a magic lab. But visiting for the first time this year, I learned something that I didn't realize about the college, which is it's really not just about magic. It's actually about using magic to teach kids much, much bigger skills. And there are kids from the very, very poorest backgrounds in South Africa all the way through to the very, very richest backgrounds in South Africa. And the college is bringing these kids together and teaching them life skills. And when they get in this College of Magic, these kids are no different. They are sharing the same passion. They are integrating in the same ways. And I learned once and for all that it's way, way bigger than just magic. So the fact that we get to be part of that is really something special for us. But like Josh said, we made a donation while we were there.
On behalf of all of you, because you guys are the ones that fund this, we made a $10,000 donation that goes to getting kids there who may not be able to pay the admission fee. So it's on scholarship, and I think that money is being used in a really great way to change some lives.
The biggest donation we were able to make this year was thanks to an event that we did to support Ukraine. Share Magic for Ukraine was this online convention that we did. It was completely free. Anybody could attend. You didn't have to pay, but we did encourage people to donate. And incredibly, thanks to the generous donations, you can see Chad Lowe and Carissa Hendricks there. Thanks to the generous donations that you guys made, we were able to raise $32,000 or close to it. It's actually gone up now from that number, but it's now over $32,000 that we were able to donate to some really important charities doing some great work in Ukraine, but also to some magicians in need as well. We're able to, thanks to your help, get magicians out of Ukraine that needed our help, and that's been a really special part of the year for us.
Yeah, there's one individual in particular we were able to give several $1,000s so that this individual could stay in the country. He's in the United States, and he was able to get an artist visa and remain here. So he's making a new life here. And, we do these events, and you guys are so kind to donate. And maybe you don't think about it, maybe you do, but these things change lives, and this person's life was totally changed by that day and your support. So we appreciate it, and we hope you'll support us as we do new things.
Yeah, there was another magician that we met that was stranded, didn't have enough money to fly where he needed to go due to the war, and we were able to help him there and then, thanks to the support of you guys. So while it may not seem like it while we're just kind of watching magic online, we really are, with your help and thanks to you, changing people's lives. So thank you for being part of that. Another way that we try and support magic with the charity is to help young magicians. And this year, I think it's going to be our biggest year yet ever for our youth scholarship. And this is where we run youth events at the Session and Magi Fest. It's always been important to us that young magicians should be able to attend these conventions regardless of their financial background. So we have a system where young magicians can apply, and we will give them free access to the convention with their parents to come along and join the convention. And this year, I think we now have 60 kids across both conventions coming to join us, and we put on special youth events for them while they're there.
Yeah, well, great. Well, we know that one of the reasons you're tuning in is to hear about products. And this is the time of year that we take a moment to look back, and then we look forward at some new releases. But first, let's take a look at some of the products that were hit products for us. And I'll start, I guess. Okay, I'll start with Miracle One. Oh, I see. This is a quick montage. No, I will start with something called Velo. We put out absolutely the finest deck display shelves. There you can see it as it goes by. And it's a beautiful way to display cards. And it's, you can buy towers, so you can get 2 or 3, and they're modular, and then the top has glass on it. And if you haven't seen that, it's really, really beautiful.
I was really hoping you were going to try and keep up with the montage and just keep like doing sound bites of every trick. That would have made my day. Yeah, another one that you saw in there was Miracle One. This has been a big hit release of ours. If you've been on our website, you will recognize it. Actually, this trick exists as part of the Vanishing Inc product line because when I saw a video of this trick, I thought it was a stooge. I thought Christian was stooging the spectator. So I challenged George to convince Christian to let us release it. And it's incredible, and it's such a smart card trick with so many layers of methods. So we're really happy to have that out. But Josh, why don't I talk about your stuff? Because you have had pretty much as much of a successful product release year as any magician could have. We have Talk About Tricks, which is the biggest book set I think we've ever released, maybe on par with the Sankey books. That was a challenge to get all of your columns that you wrote for Magic Magazine over, I think, 13 years, something like 860 tricks into a 2-volume book set. It is the heaviest book set of all time. But then you had your Cylinder and Coins. You also had How Magicians Think, the release for the public, which you did a book tour as well. It's been an absolute crazy year for you with products. So I'm going to say congratulations to you right now, Joshua J, in front of all of these people that are watching. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. That's such a nice change to have you say something nice about me. Let me say something nice about you. You put out a book called 52 Explorations. So the history of this book is that Andi wrote a very popular book called 52 Memories about the magic of Jack Parker. Jack Parker was a really clever close-up magician from the UK, card-based, who sadly passed away quite young. And this was Andy's promise to Jack that he would find a way to print all the remaining unpublished material. It took a very long time, but we put out 52 Explorations and actually redid the 52 Memories so that it matched and looks great. And that was a huge success, and many of you read it and can comment on that. And yeah, there's too many products to mention every single one. But in addition to all of the products, we also had a banner year for Masterclass. So for those who don't know, Masterclass is absolutely without question the best deal on Vanishing Inc. If you're not in that community, you're missing out on weekly lectures and live Q&As that are transformative and really, really great. We get great talent. Andi, tell us about some of the names that we had this year.
Yeah, this is going to test me, see if I can remember the year's worth of names. Some of my favorites, Homer Lewag, Woody Aragon, Carissa Hendricks, Jim Steinmeier. Like, it's been a real who's who of Masterclass. And the cool thing is, these are not people who you can find often other lectures online. Homer, this is his first ever lecture, and he did it as part of the Masterclass, where you got 3 lectures and a Q&A from him. And Masterclass has been the biggest part of Vanishing Inc. That's the biggest growth in Vanishing Inc. this year. And I think that's pretty much down to the Masterclass lecturers. They have really over-delivered and shared some fantastic magic. If you joined Masterclass as part of the pandemic, you would have seen that it was as high quality as we could get in a pandemic, filming from people's houses remotely. So we really upped the quality of the last year. Now that our film team are able to travel around the world, we're able to get much, much better content. I did a masterclass too. It was a real highlight of the year for me to sit down and write what I wanted to share with magicians, and then do the Q&A afterwards, where I felt so loved, and I felt like people were really investing their time into learning the magic as part of the masterclass. So Masterclass hopefully will continue to grow over the next year. We already have the whole next year's lineup booked, and we'll be filming that over the course of the year. And I'm excited to start to announce who's coming up for that.
Well, now it's time to talk about upcoming products. So the first one is one that I'll talk about. This is one of my dearest friends in all of magic, Tim Hill. Tim Hill is a master magician, but also really good at electronic magic and creating things. And he has created a trick that we debuted in an advanced release of, so some of you may have seen it at Magi Fest last year. The trick is called Emergence, and here's the effect. You have a glass, an empty glass, and 3 coins. You shake the first one, clink. You've seen that before. Second one, clink. You've seen that before. Now you take a real glass tumbler with 2 coins in it that can be examined, put it on the table. You take the last coin and you step away from the table, and you take that coin and make it disappear. And On the other side of the room, if you want, you hear clink. They can reach in and take out 3 legitimate coins. It's amazing. And it's our first real electronic release, and we hope the first of many. It's an absolutely sensational product. We cannot wait for you to get your hands on it.
Yeah, and I think we teased that last year in the annual letter. But actually, it's a testament to the Vanishing Inc team, because some of these were made and we tested them, and they weren't. The battery life wasn't as good as we wanted it to be. So we went back to the drawing board, and it's been remade, and it's almost ready to come out. So thanks for bearing with us, but it's almost time. Josh, I want you to talk about the next one as well, because you are an expert at this trick, and then I'm going to talk about the books that are coming up.
Yeah, Angelo Carbone is one of the most creative people in our industry, and he put out a trick years ago called Notion of Motion, and it was a named card rise. He made every single one by hand, and I know for a fact there were less than 100 in existence. It was very, very expensive when I bought it. And I learned this trick and came up with a little tweak myself to make it performable almost surrounded, and I used to use this trick. I mean, I remember fooling some of the biggest names in Magic by just taking a deck of cards, putting it in the box, and saying, name a card. And you open the box, and the card rises out. We have found a way to manufacture this in quantity. This is going to be an absolute game changer. This is not like name a picture cards or number cards. 52 cards, they name a card, no electronics, and you can cause that card to rise out of the pack. It's another great upcoming release. But Andy, I want to hear about all of the books that we have planned, or a few of the books. We'll keep some a secret.
Yeah, we can't talk about all of them, but I have spent my year laying out books. I think I've laid out more pages of books this year than ever before. At last count, I think it was edging towards 4,500 pages, which is a crazy number to admit. But we have some really good books coming this year, and they're bigger than normal, actually. There's a lot of big books coming out. For example, we have a book by Jean-Pierre Vallerino of basically a best-of collection, along with a lot of new material. It's gorgeous. It's come out really, really nice. And the cool part with this book is that even though there are something like 120 items, there are video performances of every single item from the book, which is really cool to see. There's a new book coming out from Ben Harris. It's the same size as Machinations, which if you have that, it's a great book. And this one is all on Uri Geller and spoon bending. It's called Bend It Like Geller, and it's a really fun read. It almost feels like reading a magazine, just a really long magazine, because it's just lots of short essays from people like Peter Turner and David Berglas and Ben Harris, and new handlings and old handling of spoon bends. There's some really interesting stuff in there. But we also have books by Jamie and Swiss coming out this year. Ed Marlowe, which is something I'm really excited about. We've managed to acquire the rights to some of Ed Marlowe's most important books, and they're going to be coming out over the course of probably the next 2 years, because there are a lot of books there. Ackerman and Richard Wiseman. We have this really, really cool Richard Wiseman project coming out probably late January, early February. So many books, too many to list, and I've missed
Michael
many.
Feldman. Michael Feldman has a book coming out with us, as does Ben Daggers from Japan. Both very excited. Both
we have a great book from Gustav and Alice from the Magic Lab, who are specifically talking about the science of magic as it applies to magicians. Gustav Kuhn has already written a book for the public about the science of magic, but this book is really interesting because it's a book that teaches us how we can improve our magic by using the scientific experiments that they've been running. And if you're coming to the session, you're going to get to see them run a Magic Lab for 2 days, where they're going to be showing us these experiments they do, like eye tracking and all things of that nature, memory techniques, and they're going to be sharing the results with us on stage at the session. So it's going to be really fun.
Yep.
It's the Magic Dragon book coming out next year. I am going to commit to something that I will immediately regret to committing to, because this book has had many delays along the way. We're aiming for Magic Live. I think it'll be out for Magic Live. And if you're going to be at Magic Live, come to the booth and see it, because it's our coolest project yet for a book. This deluxe set in particular is insane. Any reprints in the works that you can talk about? Reprints is something that we really struggle with, actually, because reprints, when you reprint a book, you have to print in large quantities, of course, but reprints of books don't often sell in that kind of quantity. So yes, we will be reprinting some books, and there's some books at the top of our list that we really need to get on with. But the only reprint right now that's coming in the very short term is the Mental Mysteries of Hector Chadwick. That'll be coming out very early in 2023.
Yeah, so that's a little summary of what we've got. We have a couple more things, orders of business to take care of, but that's what we covered in the letter, and we hope you'll read the letter, which goes into a lot more detail. So if you have questions, put them in now. This is your last shot. We'll answer a few questions, and we do have to give away some stuff.
Oh yeah, we have to give out some magic care package, which I'm told includes some unpublished, unreleased decks. Which, by the way, I've been rocking this unreleased deck. Can I show it really quickly? I can't even say any more about that other than it involves Harapan. Oh, Josh, question for you. Any more books coming from yourselves coming? Any more books from yourselves coming?
Yes. So my pandemic project was to document and write down all of the material that I've come up with the memorized deck. I have my own stack, been using it for a long time. Before that, I used Aronson and studied with Simon for many years. And I finished it in the pandemic, and I'm still just tweaking and obsessing over it. If you follow my Instagram videos that I used to do every week, sometimes every month, you know I'm constantly messing with it. It will finally come out for the holidays next year. So Black Friday time next year. That's my book.
Are there any more plans for furniture items like Velo in the works? That is a great question.
I can
I'm
feel this one actually. Andy has been working on, I know you guys will roll your eyes at this, but a rocking chair for reading magic books. And do you want to tell them about the design that you've put together, Andy?
Yeah, I realized that the best way to actually enjoy a magic book is to be sat on a magic book. So we managed to purchase the rights to the entire Tarbell catalog, and we have not reprinted them. Instead, we have no, we do not have a rocking chair. Actually, we don't have anything that I can think of in the works, but keep an eye on Vanishing Inc Wonders. This is something we've not talked about this year, but Vanishing Inc Wonders is a section of our website where we have homewares, deck storage, puzzles, brain teasers, and that's the place where that kind of thing gets added. I can tell you that we do have new artwork coming out this year based on some really interesting historical things that Josh and I acquired, I think 4 or 5 years ago. And we finally decided to release these as part of the Wonders range. And we both are going to have them in our houses. And I think a lot of people are going to want to have them in theirs too.
Right. Well, we have a winner for our care package with 2 amazing comments that have made it onto the stream and several more in the chat. And that person is Andy Gladwin. Tell us.
Oh, I don't know. Has it been sent to us?
Got it here. It's David Strong. David Strong, congratulations. You are the winner, and you will get some unreleased decks and other things.
Incredible. Well, congratulations, David Strong. I do not know where you found that information from, so good for you. David Strong, please get in touch with the Vanishing Inc support team, Support Wizards, magic@vanishingincmagic.com, and we will get you that care package, which I will personally ensure includes one of these new unreleased Harapan decks, plus some other cool stuff. But look, the only way we can finish this off really is just with a massive thank you. The fact that we get to do not just this event every year, but that we get to do the jobs that we do is solely thanks to you guys, to people purchasing from Vanishing Inc, to the people communicating with Vanishing Inc, and people attending our events. And we don't take that lightly. We are constantly, and I hope this shows, constantly working to improve our business. But not just our business, working to improve magic in general too. That's a big part of what we do. And we find ourselves lately spending more time on Share Magic, our charity, than we do on Vanishing Inc itself. So thank you so much for being a part of this, from me, from you too, Josh, and but the whole Vanishing Inc team.
Absolutely. Well put, especially for a Brit who's not
Thanks so much.
not that in touch with his emotions. I thought that was a very heartfelt tribute that we're not used to seeing from you, Andy. So my congratulations.
ChatGPT wrote it for me. I was just reading it. Yeah, that's not
Thank
true.
you
I know
all.
we read it.
Thank you all for watching. Thanks for all that you do for us and with us. And we're very inspired and doubling down and working extra hard this year to be the best that we can be. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks, everyone.